Welcome to the Costa Mesa Pod Live. This is a special edition. We are here to talk about the lifestyle, the businesses, the activities that make our whole area thrive and such a great place to live. Today I have Lety with me of Myself, Mind, and Body.
Hello.
She is like probably the most repeat offender guest on the show. Love it. Lety, who are you? What do you do? Let's just get that out of the way and then get to the heart of the matter today about the special edition.
So I am the owner of Myself, Mind, and Body in Newport. It was in Costa Mesa.
Yep.
It was in Newport before that. So I live in Costa Mesa. I work in Costa Mesa, kinda. Yeah. I love Costa Mesa and Newport and our surrounding area, but I am the owner. I am a massage therapist and esthetician. So we do facials and massages that help with stress, anxiety, and pain relief. Like, who doesn't need that?
I think all of us could use a little of that, especially during the holidays. And I know you really have a mission to share right now about small businesses and brick and mortars and what your thoughts are on that. And I think it's so relevant and also so informative for people to hear more about this from you. So take it away.
So I am a small business, and Small Business Saturday is coming up, which is always a wonderful time. I see a lot of posts like support small, shop local, and it's a really great time to do that. However, we exist all year long, and it is good for supporting small and shopping local, especially in these smaller communities where we really need that year-round support in order to be able to keep our doors open. Especially these last couple of years, it has been very difficult. I've seen a lot of small businesses that I like to go to close because they just can't, afford the overhead. So when you have a physical space, you have to pay for that space. Mm-hmm. You have to get business permits. You have to get licensing. So in addition to the service or the item that you might provide, there is additional cost to run a business.
Sure, and that goes into your pricing, and that it's just like a full circle.
It is.
Yeah.
And a lot of people may not know that. So to me, it's important to share, be open and transparent and share that information, because a lot of times people think, oh, well, you get all the profit. And it's like, I still have to pay myself a salary after, if there is profit, after my sales, after I pay for my insurance, after I pay for my supplies, which are also getting more expensive because of different reasons.
Everything has got, so people might assume that you're charging more just because you want to, but it's not really a matter of want, it's a matter of need.
Yes, absolutely. Most times a small business will not increase prices because they think they can get away with it. Mm-hmm. It's more because they have to factor in all the other elements of rent going up, supplies going up, insurance going up. So for example, I'm an esthetician and a massage therapist. Those are two different licenses. Mm-hmm. So I've gone to different schools. I have to keep my licensing current, which means you have to pay for it is the biggest thing. So those two licenses that I have to pay for, in addition to two different insurances that cover those services. Yeah. And I'm sure if like you're a restaurant, you have those types of things as well. So there's additional costs.
Definitely. And specifically, I think with a lot of restaurants that I've seen in the area, sometimes they'll be essentially ready to operate, but they're waiting on some sort of a, city inspection or something like that. So they could be essentially paying for months of not being able to actually use and do business, but they're still paying rent and other fees.
Yes, absolutely. And so I'm not in my room 24 hours a day giving services, but I'm still paying for the month's worth of rent. Right. So, and unfortunately for me, if I go on vacation, I'm not making money. I don't have PTO. Yeah. Not yet. I hope in the future, I hope to give myself PTO as an employee. I like to think of myself as two different people. Oh. I am the boss. Yeah. I'm the owner, I'm the boss, but I'm also the employee. So from an employee perspective, what would I want my employer to give me? Health insurance, PTO, paid sick leave, I don't provide myself that yet, so I'm an awful boss. I'm a very good employee, but I'm working towards that. And so the same thing, if you're a kitchen and you have staff, you have to provide those things, and that costs a lot of money. So, making sure to think about at least the small businesses in your options of where do I want to go out to eat this weekend, or what gift do I want to give my neighbor or my coworker. A small token of a gift card would be very, very beneficial for a small business.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, like, it's just the matter of convenience of using like a big box shop or online provider versus the experience as well. So it's a totally different experience. I mean, fortunately, you're in a service industry where, yes, I guess there are kind of like big box options like franchises.
Yes.
But the experience, you can right away know, is going to be different. You might not get the same person every time. It might just be like very regulated in how things are done, whereas it's maybe a bit more personalized with you. I mean, you're such a good provider.
Thank you.
But that's a service, that's a skill set, that's an experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you get that when you go to smaller businesses, whether it be a day spa type business like myself, or restaurants. My husband and I love to go to restaurants on the weekend, love to go to small businesses, support small businesses. And you always get a wonderful experience because you see the passion behind the cooking.
Yeah.
You feel the love in the food. And I think that's so wonderful. And so, like, whenever we have visitors, my sister-in-law lives in Long Beach, my sister lives in Long Beach, when she comes down, we go to these small little restaurants. And my brother-in-law said one time, like, do they know you here? And I was like, not really, but it's a small business. And, like, they are happy that we're here. So they go above and beyond to just, like, make you feel comfortable. Yeah. And I think that's you go into a pet food shop. I've done that, too. I have animals, and I go to a small pet food, and the employees walk around and actually want to help you and actually can answer your questions, which is really, really helpful. And then it inspires me to, like, make the extra effort and go to that store because they care about my needs for my pets,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The other day I went to a pharmacy. It was like a small family-run pharmacy, and they were so, I mean, not to badmouth any other pharmacy, but they went the extra mile. It was a medication I had never taken before, and they went the extra mile and, like, provided me with all this information and resources that I was like, oh wow, like, they really wanted to make sure I left there and knew exactly what I was putting in my body. And it was such a good feeling,
And it's like a genuine, like, they genuinely care about sharing that information with you, and that you like your experience. And, it's kind of sad that we don't get that everywhere we go, but it's also, when it's a shining star, you want to go back there and you want to tell your friends, and you want to keep supporting them so that they can continue to do that for the rest of the community.
Yeah, well, I'll give a shout out to Recoup Personal Training in Costa Mesa. I'm sure you've seen me post about them.
Yes.
They're a personal training center. I mean, they go above and beyond to really, like, shout out, recognize, care for, motivate their members in a way that makes them feel, like, seen and accepted and just, like, full of joy, about their experience. Whereas, if you go to another place, and I'll just say, like, a large, massive chain, right, where you're just a cog in the machine, you are just another credit card they're deducting every month.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know your name. No. Like, they don't care.
No. And so I have my own little business.
Yeah.
I never wanted my own little business. I was an employee. I worked in small doctor's offices.
Yeah.
I'm a medical assistant as well. I worked in derm. I worked in psych. But I've also worked in big chain corporate day spas and massage places. And as an employee, I didn't feel valued. I didn't feel like they thought of me as a human even. Just like, there's another person to provide the services so that we can keep charging that membership month after month. And, as much as people, especially in these types of healing arts, want to be really proud of their work, if you're not treated well, or if you're not supported, you're not going to give your best work. You're not going to do your best job, whether you're doing it on purpose or not. So it does trickle down. You do feel that from the corporate level all the way down. Yeah. And so it's just nice to support small businesses, because I feel like I see it in, like, their employees too. Sometimes I'm like, are they a family? I don't know.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but they get along really well, and they're having fun in the kitchen, and I can see that, and I don't know, it's just really nice to see that.
Well, and I think that's part of the charm of a community too, where people choose to live and call home, whether they're forced to or they come there by choice.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, like all of that energy and support is going to basically like make your life, right? Like, and you want your life, I would think most people want their life to be pretty full and happy and joyful as much as possible. So surrounding yourself with the energy of people that are living out their dreams, helping other people, supporting one another is such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And we are lucky, I think, that we live in an area where a lot of people are trying to do that.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many small businesses.
Yes. So I'm from LA.
Uh-huh.
I moved to the East Coast for 5 years. When I was coming back, I had a decision to make. Like my parents lived in the LA suburb, and then I had a sister who lived in Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was coming back, I was going to live with one of them, and I had to make the decision: do I want to live in LA? Do I want to live in Orange County? And I decided to live in Orange County, and that was part of the reason. Was I feel like people want to have a balance in their life.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be healthy. They want to go to work and make money, but also spend time with their family and enjoy their hobbies.
Yeah.
And that is building a community, that is supporting your local farmers market and things like that.
Yeah.
And everybody says it takes a village and we need to have the community. This is how you build it. It's not just for new moms or for your gym friends.
Yeah.
It's like literally your actual community that you live in.
It's all the people.
Yeah.
I mean, I always think it's so nice, even just driving down like Irvine Avenue or over by Fairview Park and just seeing the people out and about enjoying the community.
Yeah.
And then from there, just being out and about and seeing people frequent their local shops and all of that. Like we went to Kit Coffee the other day.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice small local establishment that has really kind of built its own community around it, and people plan their day and their routine around that, just like I'm sure they do when they're planning to come for their facials and their massages once every few weeks or however often they need to come to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it makes people happy. Like people will walk in and say, I've been looking forward to this. I'm so glad I'm here today, and that I feel like when we went to the coffee shop, I'm like, ooh, I've never been there before. Like, what will they have? And you see the other locals enjoying it. And what's also nice is it's in a nice little shopping center where there are other small businesses where if you had the time, you can kind of stroll around and be like, oh, what's over there? That looks cool.
Yeah.
And, put that on the list for next time I want to try something new.
Yeah, it just gets you out and about enjoying what the area has to offer, and typically wherever you are living, like that's where you're doing life, and that's the places you're going to explore on the daily.
Yeah.
So to have all of that nearby and then be able to support it, then that allows the businesses to support the people, and it's a cycle. It's a perpetual cycle.
Absolutely. I was reading something where it was saying how like when small businesses close down, then less people make the effort to make their own small business.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
Yes.
I love that point.
So it is really inspiring. And I've heard that from other people that I talk to, because I'm a very social person.
Yeah.
And if you're doing a good job on something, I'm going to tell you, because I think you should know you're doing a good job. And I frequent a lot of pop-up markets and farmers markets and small businesses, and I always like to let people know, this is so great, this is my favorite coffee, I told my brother about, things like that. And so I have made relationships and friendships that have lasted over the years, and they'll say, oh, how inspiring it is to see that you've grown your business, that you have a different room, a bigger room, now you're doing different services.
Yeah.
And that inspires me to, try to grow my business too. Yeah. And it's like, whoa, really? Like, it's really cool. So it does actually make a difference if you can see your neighbor being successful. Then it'll motivate you to maybe try your hand at whatever passion you have.
I think that's totally true. I think about it a lot of the time when, like, if I have an idea or someone comes to me with an idea, if you help to support them and give them positive feedback and reinforcement, it helps them to want to go in that direction. But if they're like poo-pooed on it, then they think it's a bad idea and they like let it go. Yeah. And maybe it was a brilliant idea, or maybe somebody's going to do it next week, right? But to have that inspiration, I mean, maybe part of it just comes from like our landscape and where we live, you know, kind of births like new inspiration, but being around so much of it, I think it makes people think, oh, if she can do that, then I can do something like that too, and I know who to ask for directions along the way.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's really important to share as much as you can, because it's like, oh, maybe I can ask her about that because she has some, you know, insight somehow.
Yeah.
I know for me, when I was working at one of those big corporate massage places, one of my clients was going to cancel her membership. And so she was like, oh, I'm canceling my membership. This is the last time I'm going to see you. Like, would you like see me at home? And I was like, no. She's like, no, why not? And I was like, no, I don't do home visits. Like, that's just not, you know, I know you like me and you no longer have a membership, but I don't do home visits. And she said, well, what if you open your own place? And I was like, what? And she's like, you would do really well if you did.
Planted a seed.
Yeah, she planted the seed. I never had thought about that. And she said, well, what if you open your own place? I think you would do really well. I mean, you have such a great following here.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, oh, yeah, oh, maybe, you know. And it did. It planted a seed that I watered and tended to, you know, months and years later. And I always tell people, like, I only got inspired because somebody told me I could do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you need to hear the yeses. You need to hear the motivation. But at the end of the day, it takes a lot of hard work.
Yes.
And it does take an investment. And so there is a reason that, you know, the small businesses do need to have that additional support financially and motivationally.
Yes.
In order for them to continue doing the services that are going to benefit everybody.
And it doesn't even have to be huge. It could be just, you know, $5 or $10 or even telling your friend or bringing your friend next time you have coffee, let's go to this new place.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a big deal, but just having that support makes a huge difference.
Well, and I like what you said earlier, too, about, you know, if you're looking for gifts, you know, if you know of a place that you really like and it would be nice to share with a friend, you're buying a gift anyway.
Yeah.
Why don't you give them the gift of a gift card to your favorite massage place or your favorite coffee shop or whatnot? And then it introduces them to a whole new world that maybe, just maybe, they were never going to come to you, right? But then they got that experience and, oh, wow, now they're like your
Changes
best
their
client.
life. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, change their life too in the process. So, yeah, lots of wonderful things, lots of wonderful shops that people can be visiting, not just on Small Business Saturday, although that is ahead, but really all year long, because otherwise, you know, you got to pay to keep the doors open all year long.
Exactly, and that's how we stay open all year long and year after year, and that's how we inspire other businesses. I have a lot of nonprofits come to me and ask for donations for their raffles or for their staff, and I do as much as I can, but I can't do that if I'm not open. You know, you can't help, you can't give back. I love to give back because it is those community members that inspire me and keep me open, so I'm going to support that, and I think it's just ongoing. So the more we support each other, the happier and healthier we'll all be, for sure.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. The happier and the healthier, and that's really part of the reputation that I think we have in Southern California. So let's keep it going.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Lety, thank you for spreading the mission, spreading the word. It is a very powerful and important statement. So
Awesome.
everybody needs to shop small
All year long.